Okay, lads, we are live. We're going to be talking a little bit about all these games today, and basically the reason why I'm live late is because I need to do as much recording as possible tonight because I have a bunch of sores on this side of my tongue that are manageable tonight, but I know are going to be borderline debilitating tomorrow, and unless some crazy news stories come up tomorrow, I don't really want to have to record too much anyway. Obviously it is a annoying thing with that appears to be from a flare up of from a flare up of ulcerative colitis. Not fun. But yeah, we are doing that. So right now we're gonna be live. We have 42 concurrents right now. So if somebody could type in the chat, that'd be greatly appreciated. So, yeah, if you're wondering why my voice, I'm holding the mic really close to me and I'm not talking too loud, there are people asleep right above me. So, I don't want to be too loud. I don't want to be too loud at all here. If you're wondering why I'm whisper talking, but hopefully with the mic a little bit close, it's not too bad. And I think I might talk in a bit of a deeper voice as well. So, yeah, the first topic I really want to talk about is the completely unfair standards that are being placed on Caitlin Clark, who, by all accounts, I rewatched this game. She was good. She was good. It's as simple as that. She was good. Not great. We're not calling Caitlin Clark great today. She was good. If you watch this game and you didn't know who Caitlin Clark was, you would come out with the conclusion that she's a really good player. Maybe not Olivia Miles or Kelsey Mitchell good, obviously, or even Courtney Williams, but she kind of did a bit of everything. Especially early on in this game, what she was creating was so much. You can see here, they are insane buckets. Some of the stuff she was doing in this game, you're like, okay, she is ISOing really good defenders and hitting mid-range shots. It was a game where I'm like, I watched back the full game as well. It's a pity she missed those two big shots. It is a pity down the stretch. If she hits one of those two shots, we're looking at this game so differently. But I felt like Caitlin Clark had a good floor game. I saw a viral tweet being Caitlin Clark went 0 for 3 and had 3 turnovers in the clutch. No, she didn't. She went 0 for 2 in the clutch and had 1 turnover. And that 1 turnover was when they were down by 8 points. I don't really understand what people were saying. You could see in this game, she was doing a good job getting them back in. I thought she did a really good job here in general. She was getting to the basket. She shot well from mid. Didn't have the greatest game from 3, but again, 2 of 9 is a game that happens. Let's be real. 2 of 9 are are things that happen. But she had by MVP standards, cool, but everyone's being oh, why can she only play against bad teams? No, I'm not boosting a Twitter post. I said this as well. Her and Paige Bueckers, she scores more against bad teams and more against good teams than Paige. Paige is the exact same as Caitlin Clark, as in they are within 0.3 points of each other and 0.7 points of each other against good and bad teams. Angel Wilson has almost the same difference. Angel Wilson won an MVP. And Paige Bueckers currently has 6 points at halftime against Connecticut Sun, against a bad team. Caitlin Clark had what did she have? No, it was halftime, yes. Last game, she had 18. But at the end of the day, every player does this. The only player that seems to be able to keep up their scoring is Kelsey Mitchell. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Kelsey Mitchell is very clearly the best isolation scorer in this league. She is a better shot creator. She's faster than Caitlin. And no matter who you're coming up against, if you have the speed advantage, you're going to be okay. As well as that, There's not one team in this league that focuses on Kelsey Mitchell. Like, you have to take that into account. There is not one team in this league that focuses on stopping Kelsey Mitchell. And teams full court pressing Caitlin, it allows Kelsey Mitchell to do what she does. That being said, that's not saying that, the player who takes more attention is automatically a better player, but I do think it's Caitlin Clark. That being said, like, Kelsey Mitchell is a gunner, but there's no real impact on the totality of a game from Kelsey Mitchell. That being said, I did get killed today without her. She was the best player on the Fever today. And you are allowed to have certain roles. There's certain things that players do. There's certain things players don't do. And Kelsey Mitchell is left in ISO every time. She is left in these one-on-one situations. They don't really tend to double, because if you are the Fever, and I'm not joking, like, I've said this plenty of times, if you can get Caitlin Clark out of rhythm, you can win a game. Kelsey Mitchell is Kelsey Mitchell. She does what she does. Kelsey Mitchell can have 4 points going into the fourth quarter and end the game with 28. Caitlin is not as explosive a scorer as Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin relies on rhythm. Caitlin is a playmaker at heart. Albeit some of her plays are scoring. But what she's trying to do is she's trying to dominate all aspects of the game on the offensive end. She's trying to dominate an offense. She's trying to get her teammates touch. She's trying to do everything. And if you allow Caitlin to do that, you lose. Like, it is as simple as that. If you allow Caitlin, every team realizes this. If you let Caitlin play her game, you lose. There's no, maybe this happens, maybe this happens. No, you lose. You can be the Lynx. You can be the 2023 pre-injury Chelsea Gray Aces with Candace Parker, with a starting five of Candace Parker, Prime Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and Angel Wilson. You can be that team. Doesn't matter. If you let Caitlin Clark play her game, again, for the Indiana Fever, you lose. Like, Caitlin slowed down the second half, I felt. Even though she still scored the same amount of points and she had more assists, I didn't feel like she was impacting the totality of the game the same way. It just didn't feel like it. And look, her mid-range game's better. Her handle's better. 0 turnovers from ball handling despite being hacked full court. And for me, this was like look, if this game right here happened, I'm just trying to think, a 19-10 on just under 50% shooting. Again, I'm not going to pretend she was good on defense today. But, like, let's just say, hypothetically, if another all-star, like, let's say Skylar Diggins, had this type of a game, we'd be hearing people being like, Skylar Diggins is better than Caitlin Clark. Look at this true point guard. And by the way, Caitlin threw the ball away at the end of the game when they were down 8 with like 20 seconds to go trying to force something. Suddenly, 3-1 assist to turnover ratio, 19 points. This is a true point guard. Like, if that line came from somebody else, it doesn't matter. You're saying Caitlin, like, obviously people are saying Caitlin is sick, but, like, look, she plays through a lot of migraines. She's had some of her best games through migraines. Like, that's not the end of the world. And, like, I think we have to try to not be biased in this scenario. Or not, like, be overly biased. Like, there's always going to be a bit of bias. I think when it comes to sports and talking about sports, there is bias in how you look at the game. Like, let's be very clear, there's bias in how you look at the game, there's bias in how you evaluate the game. Because, I'm sorry, spreadsheets, in a league of this few games, spreadsheets don't matter. Like, the spreadsheet doesn't matter in a one-off game. And that's the thing where it's like, when you have 82 games, yeah, cool, go with your spreadsheets. When you have one-off games, and the WNBA has enough bad teams, and the way the playoffs is best of 3 in round 1, that there's only a certain amount of games that really matter. Like, over the course of one-off games, over the course of a best of 3 series, heck, even in the best of 5 series, not in the best of 7. In the best of 7, the spreadsheets are pretty good. But in a best of 3 series, you throw the spreadsheets out the window. That's why the Fever won last year. They just choked and made big plays, and Smesco's team didn't. But look, if you're Indiana, you come out, you have a bit of a rest before the Vegas game in Vegas. If you pull that one off, like, you have cemented yourself as, like, no, you are the second best team in the league. If the Fever pull that one off, like, Caitlin was on a minutes restriction and didn't play well, and they won last time. It's one of those things where it's like, I think if the Fever can pull that off, they're the second best. And it's weird because, like, Caitlin Clark had what I feel like was by her standards, bad game. By anyone else's standards, a great game. Like, this is 19-10. Olivia Miles has had that stat line once. That being said, she was super, but still, she's had it once. I think, like, let's calm down. Like, this was a game where, if this is the Caitlin Clark stinker worst game ever, in a game where she was a massive net positive on the offensive end, was not the worst defender on the team, and again, that was Lexi Hull. That was not even Kelsey Mitchell. And doing this, I think if you're the Fever, you're happy out. You are happy out with what you're going to be seeing from Caitlin Clark this year. I think you're happy out. But I think we have to talk about Lexi Hull. We just have to. Like, she is unplayably bad. Like, I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it with Lexi Hull. Like, there is good games, there is bad games, and then there is what Lexi Hull has been doing this season. Shout out Lexi, by the way. She seems to be just with it mentally, as in, is that a focus issue? Like, I'd be worried if this was like I don't know if I'm more worried or less worried. Like, it's not a focus issue. She's still getting her touches, but, like, we're paying $800K for 3 hustle plays a game. Like, I'm sorry, Aerial Powers on a minimum would do more than Lexi. Like, Aerial Powers will do more than Lexi on a minimum contract. Like, she is playing at the level of a minimum contract. It's as simple as that. Like, Lexi is one of the worst players in the WNBA at her position that plays minutes. Like, she got a nice and one. But, like, if you look at her game log, this was her first game in 3 where she had more points than fouls. Is her first game since Connecticut where she has had more points than fouls. And you might be saying, oh, you can't judge Lexi on her points. What the fuck are we meant to judge Lexi on? What are we meant to judge her on down? She doesn't play defense. Like, she legitimately was not able to guard anyone. So she guarded Kayla McBride, who was taking offense off. Like, if you watch that game, Kayla McBride on offense ran to the corner and stood in the corner. She occasionally did something. She took offense off. Why? Because she used all her energy to play defense on Caitlin. That is what we saw from K-Mac. And Caitlin Clark was being left on island on Courtney Williams for most of that first half because Lexi Hull could not guard Courtney Williams. Lexi Hull can't guard anybody. For people saying her 3-point shooting is falling off a cliff, no, it's not. She's actually having the best shooting year of her career. And you might say, oh, what about 2024? She had like an 8-game hot streak. Like, 2024, I'm not joking when I say this. Everyone talks about this. I'm going to show you the game log. So Lexi Hull start the season from 3. Where is it? 1 of 2, 1 of 2, 2 of 3, 0 of 1, 0 of 2. 1 of 2, 0 of 2, 1 of 2, 0 of 1. 1 of 1, 0 of 1, 0 of 1. 0 of 0, 1 of 1, 0 of 5, 0 of 2, 1 of 4. And then she came out. She was shooting like 25% from 3. And then she came out in a spell where she went 2 of 3, 6 of 7, 2 of 3, 0 of 1, 4 of 6, 3 of 4. That was just a spell. That's the reason why she shot so well from 3. She had hardly shot, and then she went on an uber hot streak. Like, and if people are like, oh, what about Lexi Hall? There's just a slump. Lexi Hall shot 18% as a rookie. She shot 21% as a second year player. She was shooting 23% until the Olympics breaks in year 3 and is shooting in the 30s. She shoots 20% at Unrivaled. Lexi Hall, like, if we're gonna be real here, Lexi Hall cannot shoot. She cannot shoot. And people saying Lexi will be fine, she's never been good. What if I told you she has never been good? As in, Lexi Hall, sorry, let me rephrase that. She has never been good as an $800,000 player, which is the equivalent of, in the previous CBA, 150k. She was giving you sub 40, she shot sub 40% from the field last year on 7 points per game. And she never played good defense. You can listen to me talking in the playoffs last year. She never could guard anybody. She would flop a few times and draw a few offensive fouls, make timely steals, and she worked her ass off though. And that's one thing she's still doing right now. You can never question Lexi's effort because it's always there. We're not doing that. But like, if the Fever had to pay her $800k a year because another team offered it to her, let the other team get scammed. Lexi Hall was never this good. Lexi Hall was barely better than Aerial Powers a year ago. I said it. Lexi Hall was barely better than Aerial Powers. Aerial Powers is out of the league. You are paying Lexi Hall $800k. She is the worst small forward in the league that is starting. And I don't know. I don't know why people, like, she is a 3-and-D player who can't shoot or play defense. Like, it's one of those things where I get it. Lexi Hall is friends with Caitlin. I get it. She's been with your franchise for a while. You were this close to cutting her in 2024. Like, you were this so close to cutting her in 2024. And she has been better. I'm not saying Lexi Hall should be out of the league or anything. You chose her over Kelsey Mitchell. There is a world where Kelsey Mitchell does not play on this team next year, or Caitlin Clark doesn't play on this team next year because you overpaid Lexi. There is a world where you don't have a pick in 2026 because you overpaid Lexi. Like, they are both factual statements. There is a world where you don't have a 2027 pick. You are probably going to have to attach a pick to get off Lexi's contract, or attach an asset to get off Lexi's contract. And like, you could have tried to fleece the Storm. The problem is that Lexi's a negative asset. She is. I hate saying it. She is a negative asset. You are going to have to attach something to get off her. And if you don't get off her, you might lose one of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell. Because as much as people say, what about Mo Billings? In what world are the Fever getting a minimum contract power forward? I get it. KK can slide in as a starter. I get that. But that's not ideal either. Like, that's not ideal having KK start. It's just not. So the way I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't exactly know how or what the Indiana Fever are going to do here. I really don't. I don't know exactly how they get off this. I don't know how they move on. But like, she is unplayable. You can't put her on the floor because she can't guard anyone and teams don't guard her anymore. She is unplayable. And look, Lexi was on the contract she was on. She was super underrated. Size wasn't playing her, and it's easy to get behind an underrated player. It's easy to get behind someone who was looked past. It's easy to get behind somebody who gives 1,000% and is all effort on a cheap contract. But when you are making serious money, if you're making this money and you're not performing, it's very different. because Lexi still hustles. She still works hard. But the league is getting better around her. And she's not doing much. She's really not. And she's not doing much in general, not only for a bad contract. And she's just playing bad, period. Take off. My jumper is extremely hot. But like, we also have to talk about Amber Cox with this move. Like, I don't know what Amber Cox was thinking. I was confused at the time. I think it was even dumber decision now in hindsight. Like, what was Amber Cox thinking? Like, we're now at the stage where you are looking at a player here in Raven Johnson, who is, again, like, I don't know if her confidence is shot. Her confidence does look shot. In fairness, like, her confidence is shot. And if you've been watching Raven in South Carolina, you know, if you watch 2024 South Carolina, 2024, 2025, Raven Johnson, when her confidence is shot, is a bad basketball player. Like, there was a reason why she was projected to go in the 3rd round before she came back for year 5 in college. She was projected to go in the 3rd round because after, I don't know what happened in the 2024-2025 season of college, she averaged like 6 points per game. Like, if you look at her college stats here, like, I thought she had a good super senior season. But if you look at her college stats, 4.9 points per game on 35% from the field, 29% from 3. And all around, like, only 2.8 assists per game. 2.8. And that's as a starter. Like, her true senior season, that was what she was doing. And she came into this year and I felt like, okay, yeah, this is a player I didn't like to pick. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see what they were doing. And when she was, getting into a bit of rhythm, she was killing it. She had a great game against Golden State. She was super against Golden State. And she was good in some of these other games. She was genuinely good. And then as soon as Ty Harris started picking it up, she's been nearly out. She was out of the rotation. And today, I watched and I'm like, I don't know what Raven Johnson does. Because she can't dribble the ball at the pro level. She can't pass very well. She can't defend. She's foul prone. She makes at least one shacked in a fool calamitous play every single time she steps on the floor. Like, she turned the ball over in what is one of the craziest turnovers I've ever seen. Like, Caitlin Clark is coming for the inbound and Caitlin's being denied and Caitlin just like kind of waves her off and kind of walks away so that someone else can come in. So Raven Johnson walks on the floor. She just walks on the floor. And I'm like, why? And that's the thing, is like, her confidence is shot. And I don't mean this as a knock on Raven, because I think Raven's going to be a WNBA player at some point in her career. I think she's going to have a role. When Raven was being projected in the 3rd round, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I think Raven's going to be I expected Raven Johnson to be one of those, like, elite low picks that sticks in the league. Like, one of these players where it's like, look, you don't want to take her high, but you know she's going to make whatever roster she's on. I thought maybe as a, like, 8, pick 17, pick 18, pick 19, I'm like, okay, yeah, some of these aren't going to make the league. She's definitely going to be on a team. And now I'm like, you're judged differently when you're a 1st round pick. You are. No matter what anyone wants to say, you are judged differently as a 1st round pick. You are judged differently as a top 10 pick than you would be near the bottom, like if you're taking the 2nd round. And I think the worst thing that happened to Raven Johnson was that in the NCAA Final Fours, she had that viral clip of her mauling Sarah Strong, and people said, oh, look, she can guard power forwards. I think that's the worst thing, because I think Raven Johnson shot up on draft boards after that game. And we're seeing it with Chicago, with Gabriela Jaquez. We saw it with Lauren Betts, who shot up draft boards. I know she went 4 in the end, but like, there were draft boards that had her at 7 or 8 before the tournament. Unless your name is Kiki Rice and you were drafted from either of those teams in the championship game, you have been a poor rookie. Like Dugalich, Jaquez, Betts, Tanaya Latson, Raven Johnson. No, like none of them have been good. Unless your name is Kiki Rice, you have not been good. And this is a problem with the Fever scouting. They literally drafted her because they liked how she'd be in practices. There is no way, if the Indiana Fever had done their due diligence, that you come to the conclusion that Raven Johnson is better was a better pick than Nell Angloma. Look, I did not believe in Medina Okot. Obviously, Medina Okot in hindsight was the right pick, especially with the way the league was going, with the price of bigs and the cost of bigs. And my expectation was, I think they want to draft Dugalich. And by the way, Dugalich wouldn't have done shit either. I think they wanted to draft one of the UCLA players. I think they thought, okay, if one of these players are here, we're going to take them. But in the end, they just kind of screwed it. And I think when it comes to Raven, is that you've seen it in South Carolina. Like, she's not somebody that does well when her confidence is low. She's just not. She is a player that is like for lack of a better way of describing it, like when things are going well, they go really well. And we've seen that spells this season when she looked really good. Like, I know it was a ridiculous take, but like there was actually we were hearing people saying, should Raven Johnson start over Caitlin? I know it was a crazy take, but that's how well she was playing. I'm going to be real. Raven Johnson is not good enough the way she's playing right now to be on this team. And I think, like, you can't say as well, oh, look, she won a Chattanooga as a starter. Do you know who the last starter who won a national championship for South Carolina was before Raven Johnson? Destiny Henderson. Do you know what team drafted Destiny Henderson? The Indiana Fever. Do you want to know what team cut Destiny Henderson after a rookie year? The Indiana Fever. Do you know who's not in the league right now, despite being drafted in 2022? Destiny Henderson. It is as simple as that. Like, just because you won a championship in college on a stacked roster does not mean you realistically have a guaranteed spot in the league. And if I'm the Indiana Fever, I would have been shopping around the deadline. I would have been attaching her to any trade. It doesn't matter, even if it's getting Anissa Morrow. I think Raven Johnson straight up for Anissa Morrow, you would have got Anissa Morrow. I think you would have got her straight up. I think you could have potentially traded Raven Johnson and, I don't know, any other asset. And maybe you could have got Klindakova back. And being like, look, next year we got a cheap big. We got Klindakova next year. But Raven Johnson for Anissa Morrow straight up. What's there to lose? People saying you wouldn't have got Morrow straight up for Klindakova went for a fucking second. If you went for Klindakova in a second, Klindakova might not come back. Like, Raven is somebody that needs something different. It's not working out. It's really just not working out for her in Indiana, and especially with Ty Harris there. Like, it is a tough one to see, because look, you were the marquee signing. She's been okay, but like, you're seeing it now since she's been out of the rotation. She's been really, really struggling. And I actually cannot believe the Indiana Fever didn't make a trade. Like, the way I'm looking at this, like, this roster is not good enough. This roster is not good enough. Like, Caitlin was good today. Wasn't great, but she was good. She was good. Don't get it twisted. She was good today. And Aaliyah was unbelievable. Was that Aaliyah? Jesus. Kelsey was unbelievable. And Kelsey came out with 37. She was unbelievable. With this roster, like how you decided it's better off to stick as we are. Like the Fever haven't made an in-season trade in like 5 years. I'm not joking. I need to check this. I need to actually check this out when the last time they made an in-season trade was. Check, see if I can get AI. When was the last time the Fever made an in-season trade? Like I actually... It's like, it's at least 5 years since they made an in-season trade. Like, it goes so far back that it's not even Lynn Dunn, it's Tamika Catchings. Like, it's pre-Lynn Dunn era. But, like, this team's not good enough. They're not good enough. It's as simple as that. And I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing. There is no reason to have Raven Johnson on this team when she can actually command value. And I believe Raven Johnson can command value. Straight up. I believe that Raven Johnson commands some value. Like, I don't think she's a negative asset. Like, I think for a lot of this Fever team. I think there's a lot of negative assets here. I don't think Raven's one of them. I think Raven is a positive asset. Like, we talked during the season. Like, in the off-season, I talked about, or prior to the season, about how, like, when Maddie Westbeld got put on the dev contract for the Chicago, when Chloe Bibby got released, when when Aicha Coulibaly got put on the dev contract, and I'm like, you need to get rid of Demiris Dantas and put one of them on this contract. And the problem is now is that you went past the wave deadline to keep Dantas, and she's going to play 0 minutes in playoffs. Like, if she has so much value that she needs to be around the team and everything, hire her as an assistant coach. Hire her as an assistant coach, like, because obviously you can't make her a dev player. Hire her as an assistant coach. It's a weird one because, look, I get it that some teams don't make these trades, but like, the Aces realised we cannot keep starting Kia Stokes last year, and they traded for Nalissa Smith. Did they overpay for Nalissa Smith? Yeah. If you were the Indiana Fever, for me, I think you overpay. You overpay for somebody. Like, there's no reason you could not match what Connecticut gave for Anissa Morrow. And I know Anissa Morrow is probably not the answer. I know that. But you got to do something. Something. Anything. Because right now, the team's not good enough, really, to compete with the Lynx. And just drafting everybody, just taking everybody from South Carolina. Again. It's not going to win you anything. Like, what? Is like, I get it, Lexi Hall, is important for the locker room and everything, but like, she's not good. Like, Lexi Hall, as much as Lexi Hall's value is negative right now, it's going to be so negative in the off-season. Like, I don't think people understand how negative her value is going to be in only a couple of weeks. Like, 13 games, Lexi Hall becomes a toxic contract that you have to get off to keep Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. And no one's going to want it, and you could have tried to get on earlier. You could have been in the Camp Brink sweepstakes. You could have been in the Anissa Morrow sweepstakes. Heck, I don't love it. I don't love it. But do you consider Monique Billings for Alana Smith? Because there's a way of getting off. Because I don't know, like, do you think, okay, maybe it'll help us, even though that would be a disaster as well? So, in fairness, people mention that, and I'm like, you know what? I thought about that for a little bit, and I'm like, no, that guarantees you lose Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell next year. That being said, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. They have their team. There just had to be somebody. Like, could you not have got Sika Kone from Atlanta? She's walking for nothing. I get it. Maybe Atlanta don't want to give the Fever something. But why were you not all over Europe in the off-season? Why were you not, like, doing everything you could? And why did you sign a player to 800k because her and Caitlin Clark played well for Team USA in games they were winning by 60 points? And they're saying, oh, they look great at Team USA all the time. No, they didn't. They hardly saw the floor together against Spain. They hardly saw the floor together against Italy. They literally dominated against Senegal, who, I repeat, might lose to Ireland. Ireland only lost to Latvia, who were pretty good, by 6. Ireland kept France within 20. I think Senegal might lose to Ireland. And our best player, or like our second best player, I shit you not, quit basketball to play a different sport. Our second best player stopped playing basketball to go play another sport. And she had never played before. Went to Australia to play Australian rules football. Our second best player. Like, not ideal. Not ideal. And for people being like, oh, the Fever are only signing players willing to sign, I'm sorry. Like, if you were early on Emma Chikova and you went over to Prague and you said, okay, we really want you. We think you're going to be a bench player, and you're going to eventually start next to Ilya. That's our plan for you. Emma Chikova comes over. Like, all of these cities are big cities in America. Like, these Europeans don't care where they go. They don't care. Like, and everything about this roster, like, you had trade piece. If you're not going to play Maisha Hines-Allen, you could trade her. Like, Maisha Hines-Allen is a really good trade piece. She's 300k expiring. She is 300k expiring. That is a really good contract. Teams are willing to keep that. You might be saying, oh, like, if we trade them, free agents aren't going to want to sign. Well, newsflash, none of them want to sign anyway. Your marquee free agents were re-signing Dantas, massively overpaying Monique Billings and Lexi Hall. Obviously, Sophie Cunningham wants to stay because her money's not necessarily on the court, it's from off the court. Coring Kelsey Mitchell and signing Ty Harris off a year-long injury and Maisha Hines-Allen off a season so bad that she was this close to being out of the league. Like, no one wants to come anyway. We saw with Chicago, if you want to pay an injured Dijonay 600k, she'll go to Chicago. If you want to pay an old Skylar Diggins 900k, she'll go to Chicago. It doesn't matter where you are, what organization you are in. If you are willing to overpay, you're going to get free agents. And at least that's all you've done. You overpaid and got players nobody else wanted. And made zero trades. Made zero trades to make the team better. When clearly the team is, the most annoying thing about this is if this team sucked, it is what it is. This team is this close away from being a legitimate contender. They're so close to being a legit contender, but they're making sure they're sure as hell not going to be now. They're making sure they're not. But yeah, that is a pity. And yeah, I forgot they overpaid Ilya. Like, Ilya is making a supermax next year. She's not worth a supermax. She's just not. Like, Ilya, it's not a horrifically over contract. It's just a normal bad contract. But look, this might be one of the best halves I've ever seen from Olivia Miles. Like, Olivia Miles is probably the greatest rookie to ever do it. Like, it is scary what she's doing. Is she the best player in the league right now? No. Is she the best guard in the league? No. Is she the best rookie guard? Obviously. But like, I genuinely believe it. It is like, I genuinely believe she is playing better than Candice Parker as a rookie. Like, this first half today, yes, I get it. She did not have the greatest second half. She did go get a phantom and one at the end of the game, but she didn't have a great second half. But like, his first half was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous from Olivia Miles. Like, that is a unbelievable pass there to start the game. And even the first half, the playmaking, everything. Like, yes, the Fever did decide to give an open layup. Yes, that is a clear offensive foul. Maybe even a flagrant foul. But refs decide to miss it. Wide open to tie it up. Bang. That's a big game right there. Go down straight to the basket. Oh, I'm going to burn you, Monique Billings, and hit you with a reverse layup. Her ability to finish with both hands is silly. Her speed going downhill is crazy. And look, Courtney Williams went off in the second half. You don't need it. It's just like, I can't remember what the game was Seattle, where Caitlin had 30, I think, going into the fourth, and then just said, oh yeah, Kelsey, you go take us home. You go take us home. This is like what a way it was in the second half here. But it didn't really matter who was guarding Olivia Miles. KK was on her at times. They tried everything. I think the Fever did a really good job on her in the second half, but like, that is silly. Like, her ability to split those screens. There is no player that is as good downhill in this league as her with their finishing. The one thing is to be honest, she kind of goes around. She doesn't go through, and she's not great at drawing fouls. But I think she gets better at that. Like, we are in the scariest timeline for guards, where it's like, okay, shit, we might have the three best guards of all time, or three of the best guards of all time, coming in back to back years with again, Paige is 6 points today. They're up 30, so it doesn't really matter, but she's 6. And yeah, what Olivia Miles is doing is it's not normal. Like, she's averaging 20, and yeah, she's had some weird games. Like, she had 16 points on 15 shots with 0 assists her last game. And for lack of a better way of describing it, she is a gamer. Like, she's one of these players that the brighter the lights, the bigger the game, the more she steps up. And I genuinely think that when you're talking about somebody like Olivia Miles, those type of players are like, they're gold dust. Like, she has that mentality that you love to see. That you absolutely love to see from all your players. Everyone who is on your team, you want to see this mentality. And she embodies everything that we say don't like. Like, all the negatives we have with Paige, she's the anti-Paige. Like, there's no more opposite to Paige Bueckers. And I think that I think the best thing about these three guards is you've got three completely different players. And she is the spectacle. Like, she is must-watch TV. She is somebody that we have been hyping up all year. Even from game one. From game one against Atlanta, where she looked like she hit the game winner. She looked like, okay, shit, she might be a top 5 guard in the league right now. If she doesn't make Team USA, it is an embarrassment to Team USA. It is an embarrassment. And you might say, oh, but she hasn't been with the team. Do you know how USA qualified for World Cup? They won AmeriCup. Do you know who the starting point guard for Team USA in AmeriCup was? Olivia Miles. It was her. She was the starting point guard. Olivia Miles is everything that this league needs. You cannot build a league off one player. Caitlin Clark is better than everyone thought. She is better than everyone thought. Paige Bueckers is the player that they thought she was going to be coming out of high school. Caitlin is the best point guard peak for peak of all time right now. And Olivia Miles might be the greatest rookie of all time. Guards back to back to back. In a league where everyone says this is a bigs league. You have Fee on this team. This is Olivia Miles' team. This is her team. And Fee is like, look, Fee's movement isn't the greatest, but I don't think she looks normal out there. I don't think she's going to be happy being a second or third string. But like, I think even if Fee's 100%, if Fee came back 100% healthy, I still think you're running through mass. Because I think she is a better offensive engine. I think Fee is the better overall player. But I think that what Olivia Miles can do is probably better for your team. And Olivia Miles is just ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. And for people calling her a dirty player because of the kick, no, it's shit. It's sports. It's sports. So in this scenario here, look, this is what happens. She drives in, Caitlin's playing up, and she kind of kicks out for contact. It is an offensive foul, clearly. It's clearly an offensive foul. Clearly, no question about it, it's an offensive foul. Depending on how the referees feel on the day, it could be a flagrant foul. But it's no more than that. Like, it is... Olivia Miles is trying to jump into Caitlin Clark and finish. She mistimed the contact. You can see she doesn't mean to extend her leg. She tries to jump into her, hits her with her knee, and then her leg automatically extends. She could have blown her own knee out. Like, the problem is that she could have blown both their knees out there. That was a play that completely... She did not try to do that. Whatever she tried to do, she completely messed up. She completely messed up the move she was trying to make. And she probably put herself in a lot of danger there. Like, she could have realistically blown out her own knee. But it's a basketball play. That is a basketball play. That being said, like, if we are looking at Miles here, she is that good. She is that good that, like, I think we need to come together as a collective and be like, okay, what we're not going to do now, we're not going to pretend that this is just a normal player. We are not going to relegate her to see she's better than Caitlin Clark. We're not doing that. We are not going to go and in the opposite direction either and look at Olivia Miles' bad game and say, see, she's better than Caitlin. Because she is that good. She is that good. Like, there is no, for me, not that there's no flaws in her game. Every player has weaknesses. For me, there is no, like, not character flaws, but like, there's no stage where you're like, okay, I just get frustrated watching. Like, I get frustrated watching Paige's passiveness. There is nothing. I do not get frustrated in any way watching her. She is a hooper. As LaMelo Ball said, she cold. Like, she is cold. Like, this is a gamer. She will step up. She is clutch. Can't really defend, but fuck it. What of the main, like, of the four superstar guards in the league, Halsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Olivia Miles, Paige Bueckers, none of them play defense. So you're not going to complain too much about that. She's like, that left-hand scoop pass, even she threw out, like, it is scary, some of the shit that Olivia Miles can do. It is scary. And yeah, she didn't have the best second half. Fuck it. Courtney Williams did. They won the game. We're not going to complain about that. We're not going to start nitpicking here. She was that good. What are we supposed to be talking about next? Oh yeah. Like, I need to talk about this. This is what I believe is one of the weirdest things I've seen. Did we really waste a whole trade deadline only seeing Kelsey Plum get traded? Did we really miss out on an entire trade deadline, which could have been fun, to only see a Kelsey Plum trade? Like, we saw Anissa Morrow get traded 2 days ago. And Kelsey Plum got traded. And that's it. We saw a Kelsey Plum trade and an Anissa Morrow trade. That was the most, like, anticlimactic, like, thing I've ever seen. It was a complete anticlimax. I don't really know what exactly was happening here. I really don't know what, like, teams, so many teams that kind of need to get off contracts. Like, the Kelsey Plum one was the obvious one they need to get off, and they found out like they found out that, like I still can't believe they fleeced the Mercury. But at the same time, why exactly is Cam Brink still a member of the LA Sparks? Her value is completely and utterly nothing in the offseason. Why? Because she becomes a restricted free agent and a team is going to stupidly overpay for Cam Brink. Cam Brink on a year rental is not worth it when she's on a good value contract now and teams are going to get desperate. Like, you could have got, considering what you got for Kelsey Plum, you could have got from the Fever Lexi Hull for Cam Brink. You could have given away the Erica Wheeler contract and taken Ty Harris, who's better, and frees up cap space. And Erica Wheeler is a bad contract. You could have taken Lexi Hull contract for that, and you could have got a first. You could have got a 2027 first, giving you 3 first-round picks this year, or even a 2028 first if you want to get into that 2028 first round. When 2028, in fairness, is a more stacked draft. You could have gotten a 2028 pick from Indiana, and suddenly, yeah, you're giving up Cam Brink, but like, you're losing Cam Brink in 2 years' time anyway for nothing. So who cares? And you could have got more. If you are LA, like, I understand what she means to the franchise, but like, you should have been shopping NECA. I don't think you can get anything for Hamby. I don't think you can get anything for I think in the offseason you can get something for Atkins. Like, you can take on another a slightly less bad contract. Like, for me, if I was LA, I would have gone to Dallas and said, look, we have a slightly worse contract here, but who fits better in Ariel Atkins. You give us Arike. Why? Because Arike is a tank commander. She's going to chuck and lose you games. But what she's going to do is she's going to be fun, and your team's going to suck. So it's as simple as that. Like, you could have made more of a trade, and just teams weren't looking. Like, the Liberty needed to make a trade. Why is Benijah Laney Hamilton still on the Liberty? Why is Benijah Laney Hamilton still a member of the New York Liberty? It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense to why Benijah Laney Hamilton is a member of a team that are not going to play her when her value is probably multiple seconds. Is her value a first round pick? I don't think so. But like, there's no way you couldn't have got, like, for example, I don't know, like, you could have got random minimum contract player here and a second for Benijah Laney Hamilton. If you are going to play her, then you got to put her back into rotation. If you were doing what NBA teams do and don't play someone because they're on a trade block, okay. But if you are Chris DeMarco, you have to put her back into rotation. Not only that, you might have to start her. Until Phoebish comes back, you might have to start Benijah Laney Hamilton. Like, we saw no Laney Hamilton trade. We saw a Kelsey Plum trade, which was wild. We saw an Anissa Morrow trade. We saw 2 trades. Nearly every team in this league were contemplating taking somebody. Like, the Toronto Tempo were shipping first round picks. And by the way, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard a rumor that they were shipping their 2028 first round pick for Cam Brink. And I'm like, if the Sparks turn down a Toronto pick, because Toronto are going to win 15 games this year, which is probably a top 4 pick in a stacked draft. Like, if they turn down that pick, I think they should be, fired on the spot. It's that bad. I really think they should. But like, it is like, just overall, it is what it is. But teams just don't want to. It feels like teams just don't want to change anything. It feels like they're so scared of whether they hurt players' feelings, or, oh, we gave you this contract in the off season, so therefore we're scared that free agents don't want to come. By the way, the Phoenix Mercury have been ruthless. They've pissed off Tash Cloud. They got rid of her for nothing. They tossed aside a franchise legend like Brittany Griner. Rumor is they pushed for Taurasi to retire. They weren't, they were kind of like, oh, well, we don't really, not that they didn't want her to stay, but they were happy out. And they keep getting the players. They keep getting players. People still want to come to them. The Mercury are heartless. The Golden State Valkyries are heartless. They cut Julie Vanloo on a plane. They cut her on a plane. They made her come home. From celebrating Eurobasket win. And while she was on the plane, they waived her. They made her come home, waved her on the plane, as she got off the plane to getting signal to find out she had been waived. They cut her on a plane. Players still want to go to Golden State. Do you want to know why? Teams care about good franchises. Teams care about winning. And no star is going to not go to a franchise because you waived the 11th best player on your team, or you traded a bad contract to make your team better. No star is ever going to look at that and say, I don't want to go to that team. Oh, they traded Lexi Hall, who's averaging 5 points per game, and put Raven Johnson in that trade in order to bring in a power forward who can play defense, which is what they need. Oh, I'm never joining that team. They tried to win instead of, the power of friendship. No, no player's ever done that. If anything, players aren't going to come to the FIFA because the team is unserious. And they didn't, not only that, they didn't make a trade. The New York Liberty didn't make a trade when they need to make a trade. Vegas need to make a trade. Vegas aren't good enough to win this year. Atlanta probably need to make a trade. Why? Because Angel's probably going to make All-W second team. Angel's probably going to make the All-W team. And I'm going to be real here. Angel's going to make that team, and suddenly they have to trade one of Bree Jones and Naz Hillman, who are going to be traded for pennies on the dollar, because teams know if you don't trade one of these two players, Angel Reese is gone. So they're going to fuck you over, and you are going to get pennies on the dollar for Naz Hillman or Bree Jones. And if you were the Atlanta Dream, who, by the way, I don't believe are title contenders right now, you could have probably been in those Kelsey Plum sweepstakes. You don't have your first, fair enough. You could have given up Naz Hillman, who has value. And I don't know, they're not really trying to win, so you could have given up Hillman. You could have given up Izzy Borlaise, a pact on her, Tina Pau, taking on some of the bad contracts from the Sparks, and maybe a 2029 pick swap or something. You could have got her. And not only that, you're better this year. You're better this year by getting rid of Naz Hillman for Kelsey Plum, and you don't have to worry about Angel probably making the All-W second team. And this version of Atlanta doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, it was a weird trade deadline. And have any of you guys been seeing what's been happening right now? What just happened today? I want to thank Paige Bueckers. I really want to thank Paige Bueckers because, some people are just generous human beings. And Paige Bueckers saw that her former good friend, now acquaintance, Caitlin Clark, was getting all this hate on social media for having a 19 points and 10 assists game. And she wanted to take some of that hate off Caitlin Clark by getting locked down by Charlie's Ledger Walker. I've been having one eye on this game. She did not look right. Just period. She didn't look right today. But Paige Bueckers just got locked down by Charlie's Ledger Walker. By Charlie's Ledger Walker. Like, we hear all about, Caitlin Clark can only score against bad teams. What did Caitlin have against Connecticut? She had 27 and 11 assists. 27 and 11 assists in 27 minutes. In 25 minutes, Paige Bueckers had 6 points. 6 points and 4 assists. Did not shoot a free throw. Did not hit a 3. She had, 2 points in the first quarter? Like, she's just too nice. She's just too nice a human being. She saw Caitlin Clark getting all this hate, so she made sure that she did nothing today. She did nothing, and I get it. You don't need to do anything. If you win this game unbelievably comfortably, she didn't need to do anything. They destroyed them. They won they're up 25. It's over. But I'm sorry, what? You kind of have, not you have to run it up against bad teams. You don't have to. But this is a team, when it comes to Paige, where, for me, you are looking at a player that is falling into bad habits, who fell out of bad habits and is now falling back into bad habits. So, if you look at her game log, there was a game here against, where was it? It was the Sky game. She had 19, but she had 10 points going into the last 90 seconds of this game, or 9 points. She rattled off 10 straight. Then she had 27. She had 14 points going into the last 90 seconds of this game. Then had 13 points in the last 90 seconds on OT. Then obviously did well against Vegas and Minnesota. And then against Connecticut here, she took over by herself to win that game in the end. She had this kind of stretch of games where I was like, okay, passive Paige is gone. Passive Paige is gone. She's starting to kill it. And then, I know it was the All-Star game. I know it was only the All-Star game. I get it. All-Star game is the All-Star game. It doesn't really matter. We're not complaining with the All-Star game. But she didn't, she was passing up open layups in that game. She was passing up open layups. She was playing a 10% effort, but she went at a workout, giving 1,000% effort with Kevin Durant the day before. In the game, is you know what, I don't really care. And then she goes out against Atlanta. Anonymous. They lost this game. I get it. She hit a really nice pullback 3. That should have been a nice shot. She was anonymous other than that shot. And then she kind of passed up a game-winning attempt. And she was anonymous in the fourth quarter against Washington. They lost that game in a bad fourth quarter, and Paige Bueckers took one shot in the fourth quarter. And it's not like Paige, when Paige is being passive, that she's super aggressive. It's not like she's there looking. Is that sometimes she might take one shot, but if she's not taking one shot, she's being aggressive. Okay, I'm being aggressive. I'm making aggressive plays. I'm looking for passes. I'm looking to feed my teammates. No, she passes laterally and gets the fuck out of the way. And it's annoying. It's so annoying. It is so annoying at times looking at her, because I've said this plenty of times. There are 3 guards that are, in my opinion, when it's all said and done, going to go down as 3 of the 5 best guards of all time. Maybe peak Taurasi. But Paige, Caitlin, when it's all said and done, you're going to see the stats. Paige, Caitlin, and Olivia Miles are going to be 3 of the best guards of all time. I think they're better than Juju. I think they're better than Michaela Blakes. I think they are a different class. I think they are better than Juju Watkins. I think Juju Watkins might be the most overrated player I've seen. I think they're all better than Juju. But come on, Paige. You have got to start. You have got to stop coasting. Because you saw it here in the spell of games when her team needed her and she took over. Like, when she really took over. And it's like, okay, like, I don't even care if she scored 19. I was like, you know what? This is a fucking takeover by Paige. 27 against Seattle, takeover. I got a little bit annoyed. I'm like, why did you not do this earlier? But it was like, after those games and the Connecticut game, it was like, okay, Paige realizes she's Paige Bueckers. Paige is starting to realize she's Paige Bueckers. And it's like, you know what? I'm the best player on my team. It doesn't like she's gone back to coasting. Like, don't coast. Like, don't, as an individual, don't coast, especially when you have a tendency of being passive. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Like, she wasn't needed today. That's fine. But, like, she coasted. She got locked up by Charlie Sledger-Walker today. Charlie Sledger-Walker. Charlie Sledger-Walker cannot guard anybody in his league. Like, she can't guard anybody. Anyone in the league. And Charlie Sledger-Walker had her in hell. And I'm like, why exactly? Like, I'm sorry. If, let's just say hypothetically, LeBron in his peak, played against the Charlotte Bobcats in 2014, played against the lowly Charlotte Bobcats, and instead of giving them 61, gave them 4 points and then said, nah, I'm good. Skip Bayless would have called him the worst thing for the NBA. And I don't think that for Paige Bueckers. I'm not going to hold Paige Bueckers to fucking Skip Bayless standards for LeBron. But, like, when you are a player whose only question is, do you have that dog in you? And you had a couple of game spell where you looked like you had that fucking dog in you. You looked like the dog was no longer one of those little dogs that the socialites put in their handbag, that dog was a pit bull. But suddenly, whatever happened at that All-Star break, you come out with back-to-back games of passiveness. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like seeing it, because Paige is too good for that. Paige is too good for that. Like, she's too good for that. She is too good to be coasting. And I get it. Her team didn't need her today. They won by 20. Like, it didn't make a difference with the scoreboard. Still, you have 6 points against the second worst team in the league. 6. In a game where you are the scorer. And I'm sorry, like, if you look at the greats, even the WNBA, Angel Wilson does not pick and choose who she plays hard against. She doesn't. When Angel Wilson, doesn't matter who Angel plays against, she's playing hard. Our fam in Europe picking and choosing who she played hard against is the reason why she didn't go number 1 in the draft. That is a flaw. Picking and choosing when you play hard, when you play aggressive, picking and choosing who you play aggressive against, and not being consistently aggressive shows me one thing. The Paige is naturally passive. Her being aggressive is a choice. And a choice that she has to, it's almost like she has to think, okay, I got to be aggressive. And that's not a good sign when you are talking about one of the best players in the league. Aggressiveness should come naturally to a player that we are talking about as a top 5 player in the league. It should not. It genuinely, it should not have to be something where you have to actively be like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive this game, I'm not going to be aggressive this game, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm not going to be aggressive. No, no matter what you want to see, it doesn't matter who it's against, you need to see aggression. Like, even in bad games, you need to see aggression. You need to see a player who looks like they want to score, who looks like they want to be aggressive. And it doesn't matter who it's against. You have to see that. And until Paige gets that, she will be the 5 through 10 best player in the world. Which we're not ranking on that. We're not doing what some dumbasses did, but like Caitlin 20 or Paige 20. No. If you want to get from the 5 through 10 best player in the world into that conversation with Aja, which I think that Paige could eventually be. You have to be aggressive all the time. And there are going to be guards less skilled than Paige that are going to be closer to that conversation, i.e. Miles and Caitlin, who don't do as much well as Paige, who don't have the bag of Paige, but they're both continuously aggressive. They are aggressive 40 minutes every game. And that's the difference. That is the difference. And it's annoying because I thought Paige had turned a new leaf. I thought Paige had turned it around. I really did. And now we have seen 3 back-to-back games, 2 losses in those games. And then when you have had passive games, I know you win by 20. But like, it was a ball game in the first half and she still wasn't shooting the ball. It's like, you come off back-to-back passive games. You should be going to drop 40. You've had some iffy games. You should be looking to drop 40. And no, she doesn't drop 6. Like, it's a problem. And no matter how much Paige fans want to say I'm hating, it is a problem. It is a problem. And at some stage, Paige has got to fix it if she again wants to get into the S tier of players, which I think is AJ by herself right now. I need to see how he comes back from injury. I think AJ is in a tier of her own. I think as players, then that second tier, Stewie, I think, is still just about in that second tier. Olivia Miles, Kelsey Mitchell right now. I think Paige is in that outside looking in. I think there's a tier. She's in a tier between the Ryan Howards of the world, all of them. I think she's in a tier between. But yeah, scoring 6 points is always a problem. Scoring 6 points when you've had back-to-back passive games is a problem. Just when your biggest issue is choosing when and when not to be choosing when or when not to be aggressive. That we're not looking. Yeah, it is a. This is one of those things now where I'm like, the referees screwed the Fever today. I'm not saying that they lost the Fever the game or anything, because they didn't. The Fever lost the game fair and square. They did. The Fever absolutely lost this game fair and square. And yeah, it's this was one of those ones where the refs just clearly had everyone team. So first of all, this is a clean block. This is a completely clean block. A lot of people are like, oh, but she got her on the pickup, but then it shouldn't have been a shooting foul. That's not a foul. They called the foul on the block shot. Even if you want to say, oh, there's a foul before that, that's not what the refs called. The refs called it a clean block foul. You had Caitlin being guarded like this for 40 minutes and 0, by the way. 0 for 40 minutes. She got this call 0 times. There's tons of times. Watch this whole game. 40 minutes. Caitlin runs through and there's a hand on her. Kayla McBride in the first half, there was one where she passed it to KK. Caitlin burned Kayla, and Kayla sees Caitlin trying to make the pass and just shoves her. There's one left hand to Caitlin's left hand, nowhere near the ball, just shoves Caitlin in the back. Because they have a foul to give. Vet move. They have a foul to give. Caitlin just burned her. It's a 2-on-1 situation. And I don't know how Caitlin didn't turn the ball over, but she just got shoved. She literally shoved her. And then this is one of the worst calls I've ever seen. This is one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life. Sophie Cunningham hitting Nia Coffey's flying elbow with her face. A defensive foul for getting elbow in the face. It is probably the worst call I've ever seen in my life. A defensive foul for getting elbow in the face. Is it a flagrant? Maybe. Nia Coffey's looking at staring Sophie Cunningham down. It is obviously an offensive foul. If the referee wants to call it flagrant, I think we can be like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like, I don't think it is. I think maybe it would be a bit harsh to call it flagrant, but I've seen less be called flagrant. I've seen Aaliyah Boston stand there with a ball in her hand and Kalia Copper run into Aaliyah, like Aaliyah not move her elbow, Kalia Copper run into Aaliyah and then flop, and it be given as a technical foul on Aaliyah or a flagrant on Aaliyah. As well as that, like, I will stand by this. This is a blatant offensive foul. It's not a like it's a like you can see like this here. This is an offensive foul. No matter what way you put it, this is an offensive foul. You can't just kick out your leg on somebody. You can't do that. Like, I can see what Olivia Miles is trying to do. She's trying to force contact. She's trying to foul bait. But like, I'm sorry. That's if you do that to somebody, it's a yellow card in football. It is considered a dive. And how the refs gave this a no call is beyond me. There is way too much contact here for a no call. Both players, by the way, both players' knees could have been blown out here. Like, it's a red card in soccer. Like, if somebody's in the air and you get kicked like that in soccer, it's a red card. Like, this is a red card in soccer. And by the way, in basketball, you see what Olivia Miles is trying to do. We're not going to pretend that that Olivia Miles intentionally did this. And if nothing, so basically what happened here is Caitlin Clark is jumping out of the way. Caitlin Clark is like, I don't want contact. I'm getting out of the way. I'm not picking up a foul. Olivia Miles is like, I'm going to create contact. And then Caitlin's going away. So Olivia Miles kicks out her leg because it's the only way to make contact with Caitlin. It is an offensive player trying to get an at one, and it's a defensive player saying, I'm not going to foul. And what ends up happening is this. Every bit of this contact is initiated by Olivia Miles. This is an offensive foul, no basket. It is an obvious offensive foul. How you missed it is beyond me. It is an offensive foul that should have went to the monitor. It is an offensive foul that should have went to the monitor to see if it was upgraded to flagrant. Do I think it's flagrant? Probably not. Probably not. But you have to, that is what it should have been. If somebody does that to you, and again, it is, someone said high IQ flop by Olivia. Yeah, she's not expecting Caitlin Clark to jump away. She's trying to hit Caitlin Clark. She's trying to get a body-to-body contact. The problem is that she'd fully committed to the foul bait. And Caitlin fully committed to getting the fuck out of the way. And that's the problem. That's where it all came from. It was that's where it all came from. That's where it all came from. It was not like it was a dirty play. It was a play. It happens. It happens. But let's be real. If somebody does that to you, if you get hit, if you're going and trying to dodge someone defense and you get kicked like that, just playing yourself, you're going to fight somebody. You're going to fight someone. Caitlin Clark went down because she stayed down for an offensive possession. She's like, maybe the ref will look at this. They didn't. It is clearly, it is the most blatant offensive foul. It's no different than, I'm sorry, jumping and sticking your leg out and kicking somebody is no different than jumping, sticking your arm out and hitting someone with your arm on a layup. It's the same thing. It's a limb out of your cylinder to make contact with the defensive player. It is an offensive foul. By every rule, everywhere, every single rule book, throwing a limb out of your cylinder to make contact with a defensive player is an offensive foul. But it just felt like it was a weird call after weird call after weird call. Aaliyah got called for a phantom foul. We had to blow a challenge on that. And then this was just overall in the game, what's Caitlin meant to do when this is allowed? Genuinely, what is she meant to do? There's nothing she can do. She can't use her, she's been a downhill driver the last few games. You can't drive downhill if you're allowed hand check. You just can't. It is what it is. You can't drive downhill if you're allowed hand check. And it's not the Lynx were a better team anyway, regardless of refs. I think the Minnesota Lynx basically, they are a team where even if there's no refs and this was playing pickup rules, the Lynx win this game. They're a tough team, but you just know as well in this scenario, this is why Caitlin Armbar is off. It is a battle, and We saw at the start of the year when the refs were calling freedom of movement. Caitlin was getting called for 3 offensive fouls for push-offs in the first game. And you're like, when she does that, when she does push off, when there's no hand check, yeah, if you're not on a hand check, call the offensive fouls on Caitlin. The problem is now is like, Caitlin can't dribble the ball without it being two players pushing into each other, and it's just really bad. It's just bad refereeing, and it's bad control of the game. It's bad control of the game. Someone in the comments that says I'm grifting, talking about calls, and like, no, you talk about how the game goes. It was a really, really bad performance by the refs. Again, like, I'm not saying the Fever deserves to win this game. If the Fever won this game, they would have stole the game. Refs or no refs, they had their chance. They choked. They choked down the stretch, but they could have stole the game. And I'm happy with how the Fever look long term, because the Minnesota Lynx cannot keep up 4 quarters to Fever space. They can't. No team can. That is the scariest thing. No team can keep up with the Fever space for 4 quarters. So that's one of the big things, that big advantages that the Fever have over anybody else, is that teams are not out here keeping up with Indiana for 4 quarters. They're just not. And that is a big advantage that the Fever have. But still, everyone's being like, oh, Caitlin Clark can't do this without free throws. Yeah, no shit. No shit when she's not getting free throws, when she's driving to the basket and, like, getting hacked. Like, Yuha's got her with a clean block, but her other hand shoved her. It's like, Caitlin, until a minute and a half to go, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell combined for 0 free throws. Sorry, it was 1, but it was a tech. But based on fouls, 0 combined for 3 players, 2 players especially, who live at the free throw line, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, like going downhill. It was a weirdly refereed game. It was a really weirdly refereed game. And yeah, it didn't benefit Fever. Basically, any of these games where they let this type of stuff happen, where they go back to old rules, where they don't allow freedom of movement, any of those refereed games, like, and that doesn't they don't benefit the free-flowing offensive team, which is what the Fever is. It's as simple as that. Like, if you referee the game like it's 1980s NBA, it doesn't benefit the free-flowing offensive team. It simply doesn't. But yeah, and still dropping 100 is impressive in that scenario. Okay, what other topics to talk about? What other topics to talk about? Is there any other topic you guys can think of? Can you guys think of any other topics here? Talk about the dream. I don't really want to talk about the dream, to be honest. Oh, you know what? Like, I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing here? The media here, like, and what exactly are we doing? So, like, I'm sorry, at the end of the game, they asked Caitlin Clark a question. Like, I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this topic here, because this is annoying. This is so annoying. So, they asked Caitlin Clark this question in their press conference. Like, why? What relevance is this to basketball? And what relevance is this to Caitlin Clark?
I think for us, like, it's not really a discussion we really have in our locker room. I think it's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about and how we can get wins, and obviously we didn't do that tonight, so need to find an area to improve in that way.
Do you have any, reaction to the...
I just answered for you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go over to the Zoom.
Like, what are we doing? As a media, what are you doing? You're just trying to trip up a player. You're simply put trying to trip up a player because there is no answer. I mean this when I say this. There is no answer Caitlin Clark can give. There is no answer that Caitlin Clark can give in this scenario that will not make her life worse. Simple as that. There is no answer Caitlin Clark can give. Whatever her opinion is, like, not necessarily I don't care, but like, her opinion is irrelevant to the whole topic. The leagues and the government and the governing bodies of sports will make the decisions whether or not Caitlin Clark cares or not. They will make the decisions whether or not Sophie Cunningham cares or not. They will make the decisions whether or not Cheryl Reeve cares or not. They don't have any say. Let's be very real. They don't have any say. This is a topic that Sophie Cunningham wants to talk about. Sophie should talk about it. This is not a topic that Caitlin Clark, who doesn't want to talk about it, clearly should talk about. Kelsey Mitchell, as soon as it's asked, is like, oh God. And every press conference is just going to be asking this question over and over and over and over and over again. Not one player on his team wants to answer this question. Because to answer the question truthfully does not help anyone. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, I don't know what these players' opinion is. Stephanie White's answer, in fairness, like, I don't even hate Stephanie White's answer. And the fact is that people come into every press conference, and it doesn't matter who they are, whether they are wacko, like, left media, or whether it's Outkick. They're coming into this press conference trying to bait Caitlin Clark into saying something that will boost their ratings while treating Caitlin Clark like their political football, as Adam Silver said. Answering no comment is the worst answer. I think Caitlin Clark probably gave the best answer she could give. Basically saying, I'll follow. It's not me, it's the league. I'll do whatever the league says. Like, that is, realistically, is the best answer she could give. You know she prepped that answer. You know she knew she was going to be asked that question. And I'm going to be honest. There is no answer Caitlin Clark can give that doesn't cause any sort of division. And then that Seattle Storm writer pretending that the 15 people in Seattle were the reincarnation, or was a repeat of January the 6th. And then you see a fan spitting on another fan and the owner attacking girls in the front row. And it's like, at the end of the day, it is this year, I don't think it's a distraction in any way. Like, I don't think these players care. These Indiana Fever players are not chronically online. They are not chronically online. They don't care. They get answered once in a press conference. They're like, oh God, really? It's not a negative thing. You can see the way these players react around or interact around Sophie. You can see how these players interact around each other, or like interact with each other. They don't care. They don't care that Sophie says this. They don't care what Sophie's opinion is on it. Not they don't care what Sophie's opinion is on this. Like, they don't stand strongly. Like, they don't stand strongly enough against it that it's going to be we're going to turn this team in. We're just going to turn this team into activists. Because, like, and the whole thing is, even if it is one thing I'll always give Sophie Cunningham credit for is that even if the whole team was against Sophie Cunningham, it wouldn't affect how Sophie interacts with her team. Because let's be real, her fucking podcast host went the complete opposite way in that topic to her, and I don't think she cares. We saw her interacting with Cheryl Reeve, and ironically, I don't think Cheryl Reeve hates Sophie Cunningham either. I don't think either of them hate each other. It is one of these things where you've now got things where, by the way, no space for hate. No space for hate. I didn't think I could dislike anyone more than Clark. Congrats, Cunningham. Like, I'm sorry if you're not allowed to hold up a sign saying thank you, Sophie, but you're allowed to say I didn't think I could dislike anyone more than Clark. Thank Sophie. Like, this league is not no space for hate. There is no space for hate, and we're not gonna attack the person here because there's no benefit in doing that. There's no benefit in doing that, but, like, again, the league, you know, oh, no hate signs, but we're going to keep hate signs. And by the way, I don't care. You are allowed to hate anyone for any reason. Like, let's be real. You are allowed in life. There are 180 people watching this. There might be 5,000 people watching this video. Every single person watching this hates someone just because they hate them. Like, they annoy them. They don't like being around them. There's no, like, tangible reason to hate them. They just hate them. Every single person is like that. Me, you, everybody has people like that. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, you always watch this and you're seeing the media trying to trap Caitlin. Look, there's a reason I think Outkick didn't get their credentials for this game. Why? Because they knew Outkick were going to ask this question. And both sides of the extreme are the same thing. You've got the Roberta adjacent people who don't care about basketball. You got the Roberta adjacent people that are don't care about basketball and are gonna want Caitlin to do this. You get the Outkick adjacent people that don't care about basketball and are gonna want to make Caitlin answer this question. At the end of the day, whatever Caitlin Clark, like whatever people want Caitlin Clark to be, as like one side wants Caitlin Clark to Maya Moore herself out of the league, another side wants Caitlin Clark to be full on build a wall. But like at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball. Like, this is a player who wants to play basketball and wants to do whatever she can to beat the person right in front of her. I don't think she cares who's in front of her. I don't think she cares what other teams build up. I don't think she cares. I think she is, whoever you put out in front of me, I'm going to get the better of you. Just like I think Kelsey Mitchell is that. Just like I think a lot of fever players are like that. But yeah, they are trying to trap Caitlin, and I think she gave probably the best possible answer she could give. And she's going to get hate no matter what her answer is. I think it's probably the least hate she could have gotten was with that specific answer, if I'm being completely honest. Probably is. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm probably right there. So, yeah, I'm going to end the stream right there. I am exhausted. It is 2:21 in the morning, and I appreciate actually one more video that I really want. I really want to talk about this. So I really want to talk about this because a lot of people with the Indiana Fever are wondering, like, okay, what can they do next year? I'm going to talk about, is there anyone in the Fever draft that can fit in this draft that can fix any of their problems? And I mean it. That can fix any of their problems. Their defensive problems, their rebounding problems, their size problems. I want to see is there anyone that can fix any of them. And we're going to look at a couple of mock drafts here. So we're going to look at Bleacher Reports first by Hunter. And again, Hunter's someone that I go subscribe to him on YouTube. That's all I'll say. But so Juju number 1. Look, at the end of the day, I think this is a given. If Juju's in this draft with no Sarah Strong, like, Juju goes first in 2025, 2026, and 2027. Maybe not first in 24, 28, but yeah, Juju Watkins. Caught Maya Moore. Don't love her as a shooter. I think Juju Watkins is, not that she's bad. I think she walks into the league as an all-star, but like, I don't think she's on the level of a Caitlin Clark or a Paige Bueckers or a Olivia Miles. I just don't. She's good though. She's obvious first pick. Numero 2, Madison Booker. Yeah, cool. 6'1". Can't really shoot, or she doesn't shoot. I don't know if she can shoot. I don't know if she does shoot. I don't know. I don't know if it's that she won't shoot, or I don't know if it's that she can't shoot. but doesn't help the fever. 3, Hidalgo, not going to drop the fever. Smaya Nichols isn't going to have a fever, neither is Full Wiley. Or Michaela Williams, to be honest. I can see Tessa Johnson dropping a bit. Tessa Johnson could help the fever. I think Tessa Johnson absolutely could help the Indiana Fever. She's going to fall in and around the range of Indiana Fever's pick. I think Tessa Johnson really could help the Fever with their wing and their defense. I think it can help with their wing and their defense. Ashlyn Watkins, for me, is the worst pick the Indiana Fever can make. I think basketball-wise, I think she can't shoot. She's athletic, but coming off an ACL and missed a season, she's basically played no ball in 2 years. She stepped away for non-injury reasons last year. I get it. She dunked one time a few years ago. She's a good defender. But Ashlyn Watkins, also, let's be completely real. If you know about Ashlyn Watkins off the court, some of the stuff with her, you don't want that distraction on the Indiana Fever. You just don't. You just don't. This is not a player that helps anything with the Indiana Fever at all. Like, not one bit. Chloe Kitts. Now, probably no. Probably no. The thing with Chloe Kitts is, like, does she develop a 3-ball out of South Carolina? Because if she's able to develop a 3-ball, we start to look at Chloe Kitts very differently. Because if she's a decent enough defender, she's a decent big, she projects to be a solid bench player. She's a 4. But, like, she's going to need to shoot the ball. Talaysia Cooper, Fever aren't going to sign Talaysia Cooper. Aren't going to draft her. It doesn't fix anything. So, Clara Strack. Now, I don't know with Clara Strack. Like, I liked her last year. I really liked her last year. But the Kitley comparison is an interesting one, because I don't know how well she's going to do. It's like, is she going to be like almost like a non-shoot, not as good shooting Ashton Prechtel or something? Because I thought she was very good last year in college. Again, someone said Toby Fournier. I mean, Toby Fournier would help the Fever, but she's not in this draft. If the Fever end up getting a Clara Strack, it's size, I guess, but, like, I don't know how well the size works out here. Again, a wing, but again, I don't know enough about Okananwa. I don't know enough about her, but, like, we'll see who the better defenders are. Like, they could stash. Like, from what I've seen, Cisse looks okay. I thought they have the aces pick. From what I've seen, she looks okay. She looks athletic. I've watched bits of her play, not too much, but I don't mind a stash. I don't mind a stash athlete at the 4. And Reese O'Shea's sister, again, have watched bits of her, don't love her. She probably projects to be better than her brother, I guess, but, like, maybe she helps the 3-and-D wing long term. Maybe you just take a stash. And there is a 0% chance you're taking Kai Moore Johnson if you're Indiana. But let's take a look here. Again, Zhang Jiu at number 2, Audie Crooks at 5. What the hell is this list? What the hell? Liv McGill's not even in this draft. Avery Howell's not even in this draft. What the hell is this? Del Rosario nearly in the first round? What are we doing? Okay, this is the worst mock draft ever. But there's no Clara Strack in the first round. Alright, but for me, I'm like, you're probably looking at them they're not going to take a stash. I think the Fever are going to look at one of the South Carolina bigs, which is scary. I think it's going to be scary. I think they're going to be looking at Chloe Kitts all year. I have a bad feeling that they're going to take Chloe Kitts. I don't hate Chloe Kitts by any means. But, like, for me, I'm like, she's not a freak athlete. She's a non-shooter. like, evidently, like, look, say she's going to thrive in Indiana. Like, let's be honest. She's the type of person that is going to thrive with the extra spotlight. Like, we don't need to not, like, pretend that's not a thing. But I think Watkins is a player that might have fit if it wasn't for the off-court stuff and then not playing ball for a while. Like, she has not played ball for quite a while. And the thing is again, like, can Chloe Kitts shoot it? If Chloe Kitts can shoot it, if she even becomes a 33% shooter, I'm like, okay. I'm okay with that. I don't know about Clara Strack. I need to watch more Clara Strack next year, but the Indiana Fever have to draft a big or a power forward. It's as simple as that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't even care. I don't even care if you draft this year's version of Justine Bissott. I don't care. You're drafting a power forward, or if you draft another guard, I think I might just quit on this team. If you draft another guard, I'm going to quit on this team. But Clara Strack is still an interesting one. He still needs a backup to Aaliyah. But I have a weird feeling they're just going to scout Carolina again. I have a weird feeling they're going to be like, oh, we can get one of Tessa Johnson, Chloe Kitts, or Ashlyn Watkins. We're going to take whatever one falls to us. I have a real bad feeling they're going to do that. So, yeah, I am going to end the stream right there. Thank you guys so much. And, lads, before we go off, we are trying to get to 200 likes. We need 13. There's 168 of you guys in here. Can we get to 100 likes? We need 13 more. 13 more. We need 13 more likes and I'm going to end the stream. I've been live for like 2 hours. And I'm doing that because I know I'm not really going to be able to speak tomorrow. $92. We're close. We're close on the likes department. 94. Can we get to 100? There's 151 of you guys in here. 95. Come on, we need 5 more. We need 5 more. Really? Are you guys going to screw me here? My Dawson, Sarah, Ashley Barker, she's injured. Bridget Carlton has been great. Come on, there's 129 of you guys in here. We literally just need 4 more likes. 4 more. 4 more. I'll talk about Fever Aces game. It's not for like 3 days. 3 more, come on. Come on. Why? We need like 10 more likes. We're losing viewers by the second because you guys just won't smash that like button. Oh, somebody unliked. We're going off.